Okay, so imagine you're standing by like a huge ocean, and every single wave, it comes up, peaks, and then just dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
Each one is totally unique, right? Never happens again exactly the same way. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are we actually on the wave feeling it, or just watching from the shore?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's this speed to life now, isn't there? You
Definitely.
feel pulled everywhere. So many demands, this constant flood of stuff.
Yeah.
And that quiet space, where life actually happens, it feels distant sometimes.
Right. Like you can barely get there.
Exactly. And you're longing for that connection, that bit of peace, but it always feels just out of reach.
That feeling really connects with a central idea in Buddhist thinking, anicca, impermanence.
Ah, yes.
It's like those waves, everything's always moving, always changing, every moment arrives, whole and singular, and then poof, it's gone.
But our minds don't work like that, do they?
No. We're stuck on what happened or racing ahead to what might be, and we totally miss what is right now. And that's actually where all our power is,
Yeah.
in this moment.
It makes me think of watching little kids when they're playing.
Oh, yeah.
They're just completely lost in it. No self-consciousness, past, future, doesn't exist. They're just there. Then as adults, it feels like we build these complicated walls. Worries, lists, anxieties, all this stuff that blocks us from that simple presence.
It's ironic, isn't it?
It really is. But like you said, it's right here, right now, in this moment, like us talking right now. That's where the real potential for insight, for change, actually lies.
So maybe something for everyone listening to think about. Are you really living in your life moment by moment? Or are you kind of watching it all fly by like scenery outside a train window? Just an observer.
Let's maybe dig into that a bit.
Yeah.
There's this story, an observation, really, about the Buddha. He was meditating, apparently, and noticed an old woman washing clothes in a stream.
Just washing clothes. Nothing dramatic.
Nope. Totally ordinary. Something she'd probably done thousands of times. But there was something about how she was doing it, her focus, her attention. It caught his eye.
Huh. What was it?
Well, when he asked her about it, her answer was incredibly simple. She said something like, "My mind isn't somewhere else. It's right here, with my hands."
Wow. Yeah.
Yes,
Here.
exactly. And that's really the core of mindfulness, or sati, is just bringing your awareness fully to what you're doing right now, whatever it is. No judgment, no distraction.
So paying attention on purpose.
Yes. Paying attention to your breathing, or the feeling of walking, the taste of your food, even washing clothes, apparently. It sounds simple, but doing that, it can really deepen, everything, your whole experience of being alive.
Because if you really think about it, every single thing we do, every choice, every thought, every action, it happens now, in this instant.
Yeah.
And if our mind is always bouncing between the past and the future, we lose that clarity, that purposefulness that only the present moment has. But when you deliberately, consciously anchor yourself in the now, it's like you unlock something, some hidden potential. It opens the door to feeling better, to actually achieving things, to living more deeply.
It makes you wonder how many opportunities just slip by, doesn't it?
Totally.
Little moments of connection or joy or learning something new.
Yeah.
Missed because we were busy replaying an old mistake or worrying about something that might never happen.
Yeah.
But when you cultivate that presence, you create this little gap, this pause. And in that pause, you can actually choose how to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting on autopilot.
Like breaking old habits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That tiny moment of awareness can be the thing that shifts everything towards a better outcome.
And today's world, wow, it feels like it's almost designed to scatter our attention, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Nonstop.
Phones buzzing, emails piling up, that endless social media scroll, it creates this constant feeling of time famine, like you're always behind, never enough time.
And the funny thing is, the more we frantically try to do more, the less effective we actually are.
Right, it backfires.
Yeah, research shows that multitasking, constantly switching gears, it actually tanks our productivity.
I believe it.
And worse, it fragments our attention, makes it really hard to focus deeply on anything important.
And from that Buddhist viewpoint, this constant state of distraction, being pulled everywhere, it's basically tied to suffering, right? Dukkha.
It comes from our attachments, wanting things to be a certain way, clinging to stuff, even clinging to our stories about ourselves.
And it just keeps us dissatisfied, always looking for the next thing.
Exactly, it's a cycle. And the way out, it's this conscious, consistent returning, coming back to the present moment again and again.
Think about something as basic as eating.
Okay.
How often do we just shovel food in while we're watching TV or scrolling or thinking about work?
Guilty. All the time.
Yeah. And then you finish and it's like, did I taste that? It was just fuel, not really an experience.
I don't.
Now, compare that to eating mindfully, really paying attention, noticing the smell, the texture, the flavors, maybe even thinking about where the food came from.
Mm-hmm. Taking your time.
Which one actually nourishes you, not just your body, but like emotionally, spiritually even.
It's a huge difference. Obvious when you put it like that.
And that applies to everything, doesn't it? Work focus, time with family or friends, just going for a walk.
Yeah, the quality of the experience really depends on how present you are.
Totally. And the good news is you don't need to like quit your job and go to a monastery to cultivate this.
Not at all. It starts small. Little shifts. Deliberate adjustments in your everyday life.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, think about those tiny things. Like before you grab your phone first thing in the morning, just take one deep breath. Inhale, exhale, pause.
Okay, I could try that.
Or when someone's talking to you, really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Hear them. Try to feel what they're feeling.
That's harder than it sounds.
It is. Or before you start a task, even just sending an email, take like 2 seconds, set an intention. Okay, I'm going to focus on just this. They seem tiny, right? Insignificant, but doing them consistently, it's like building a muscle. You train your mind little by little to stay anchored in the present, gives you more control over your thoughts, your reactions.
It really drives home how unique this moment is. You can't save it up for later, can you?
Nope, can't postpone it.
It's just the single precious opportunity we have right now for everything, for insight, for growing, for just feeling alive.
So, back to the person listening.
Yeah.
Maybe just gently ask yourself, what would life feel like? What could it become if you started to appreciate this moment just a little bit more?
Yeah.
What dreams might you finally start chasing? What tiny step could you take, like right now, today?
Because that journey, any big change, like the Buddha reaching enlightenment, it's gradual, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One mindful step at a time, moment by moment, always in the present.
Which leads us nicely into this other really key idea, right effort, or samavayama.
Ah, yes. Part of the Eightfold Path.
Exactly. But it's not about like gritting your teeth and forcing things, is it?
Not really, no. It's more about directing your energy wisely, intentionally. It's about consciously cultivating the good stuff in yourself, positive thoughts, helpful habits, while also making an effort to let go of the things that cause suffering. Harmful thoughts, unhelpful emotions, bad habits.
And that happens right now too, in the present.
Always in the present. Every single choice you make, every habit you feed or starve. It's like, imagine your mind is a garden.
Okay.
A gardener has to actively pull out the weeds, right?
Yeah.
To make space for the flowers to grow. It's the same with our minds. We have to make an effort to notice and gently remove those negative, unhelpful thought patterns, the weeds, and actively nurture the positive qualities, the flowers. Kindness, focus, calm, whatever it is you want to grow.
And all that gardening happens now.
Yes. Every time you choose to redirect your thoughts, every time you practice patience, every seed of good intention you plant, it's happening in this present moment.
I also like the analogy of climbing a mountain.
That's a good one too.
Each step you take is right effort, happening right now. If you start obsessing about how far the summit is the future or how tired you are from the climb already the past.
Stumble, you lose focus.
Exactly. But if you just focus on the step right in front of you, planting your foot firmly right here, right now, eventually you get there.
That's the core of it. Staying grounded in the present action while moving steadily towards where you want to go.
And what's really hopeful about right effort is that it doesn't mean you have to suddenly become perfect overnight.
Oh, definitely not. It's about starting right where you are, with whatever you have.
Just willingness.
Yes. A willingness to begin. And the amazing thing is, those small, consistent efforts, when you apply them intentionally, moment by moment, they add up, they compound over time, and they create really deep, lasting changes.
Let's maybe make this more concrete. Think about someone, let's call her Maya, a
Sure.
graphic designer.
Okay.
Good career, seemed successful on the outside, but inside, she felt stuck. She had this dream of doing her own freelance art, but it was always someday, you know?
I know someday very well.
Yeah. Then maybe she reads a quote somewhere, something simple like, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started."
Ah, hits home.
Yeah, it cut through all the excuses, all the overthinking. She realized the block wasn't really time or skill, it was just starting. getting over that initial inertia.
The reluctance to leave the comfort zone.
Exactly. So she decided to apply right effort. She started super small, just 15 minutes every morning, before the day swallowed her up, working on her portfolio.
Just 15 minutes, manageable.
Right. And at first, it felt slow, really incremental. And yeah, the doubts came up. This isn't good enough. Who do you think you are? All that usual stuff.
The inner critic, always loud.
But instead of getting derailed, she practiced mindfulness. She noticed the thoughts, didn't fight them, just acknowledged them, and gently brought her focus back. Back to the drawing, back to the screen, back to the present moment of creating.
Gently redirecting. That's the effort.
Yeah. And slowly, steadily, it worked. Months went by, that 15 minutes built up. She created a really strong portfolio.
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. It led to freelance gigs, putting her art out there. She found this huge sense of fulfillment she hadn't felt before. And looking back, she saw it wasn't some magic moment. It was just the power of showing up consistently, mindfully, in the present.
That's a great illustration. Maya's story really shows that real change starts with that one single step you take now.
Whether it's art or getting healthier or improving relationships.
Whatever it is, start small, stay mindful, keep showing up in the present. It might seem slow, but the cumulative effect, it's huge, transformative.
And what's really fascinating now is how science is actually backing up this ancient wisdom.
Right. The research on mindfulness and meditation, it's exploded in recent years.
And it's showing real physical changes in the brain. This isn't just like wishful thinking, it's biology.
Exactly. Studies show that consistent practice, even for relatively short times, can increase gray matter density.
In areas linked to what? Learning, memory.
Learning, memory, emotional regulation, even empathy. And on the flip side, they see decreased activity in brain areas associated with stress and anxiety, like the amygdala.
So it's not just feeling calmer, it's actually changing your brain structure.
Yes, it's neuroplasticity in action. The brain is reshaping itself based on your mental training.
And the best part is you don't have to be, a monk who's meditated for 30 years to see benefit.
Not at all. Anyone can start. The key ingredient, as we keep saying, is consistency.
Like exercise for the brain.
Precisely. You're strengthening specific neural pathways. And with regular practice, this rewiring leads to real, lasting shifts in how you handle life, how you deal with challenges, more clarity, more balance.
Let's break down some of those benefits science is showing. Focus, for instance.
Yeah, that's a big one. In this world of constant dings and alerts.
Tell me about it.
Mindfulness trains your attentional muscles. You practice bringing your focus back, gently but firmly, over and over.
To the present moment.
Right. And that ability to sustain focus translates directly into being more effective, getting better results, whatever you're doing.
Okay, what about emotions? Reacting less.
Huge benefit there. Think about how often we snap or say something we regret.
Too often.
Mindfulness creates this tiny space, this pause between something happening, a trigger, and your reaction.
Like a buffer zone.
Exactly. A moment to just notice the emotion, anger, frustration, whatever, without immediately acting on it.
Right.
And in that space, you can choose a more skillful response. It's massive for reducing conflict, improving relationships.
And stress. That seems more relevant than ever.
Definitely. Life throws curveballs. Always will. But research shows mindfulness practitioners tend to have lower cortisol levels. That's the main stress hormone.
So less wear and tear on the system.
Yeah, and they generally report feeling better able to cope when things get tough. Anchoring yourself in the present, even when things are difficult, builds this inner stability. You feel less tossed around by the storms.
It's really powerful to see science confirming this idea that our minds aren't fixed.
Right? They're malleable. We can actively shape them through practices like mindfulness and right effort.
So, practically speaking, how do we put this into action day to day? What are some concrete steps?
Okay, one really good strategy is setting micro intentions.
Micro intentions, I like that.
Instead of these huge, overwhelming goals, break things down into tiny, doable steps you can focus on right now. So if you want to be more active, maybe the micro intention is just walk for 10 minutes after dinner.
Not run a marathon next month.
Exactly. Small wins build momentum, makes it feel achievable, sustainable.
Okay, what else?
Establishing rituals of awareness. Find specific moments in your existing routine and turn them into mindfulness practice.
Like while brushing your teeth.
Perfect example. Instead of thinking about your to-do list, just feel the bristles, the paste, the water. Or really taste your morning coffee or tea. Notice the warmth, the aroma.
Just sprinkling little moments of presence through the day.
Yeah. or feeling your feet on the ground when you walk. These little touch points train your brain to come back to the present more often, more naturally.
Makes sense.
And another powerful one. Take a few minutes at the end of the day for mindful reflection.
How does that work?
Just gently ask yourself, when did I feel present today? When did my mind wander off? What's one small thing I could do tomorrow to cultivate a bit more presence or right effort?
Kind of like checking in with yourself.
Exactly. It boosts self-awareness and reinforces your intention.
It really all comes back to seeing the potential in this moment, doesn't it?
It does. It's the only place anything can actually start. The fertile ground for all your goals, the blank canvas.
You don't need to wait for the perfect time.
No. The time is now. The opportunity to start, to nurture that seed, to make that first breaststroke. It's right here, with whatever you have right now.
Which brings us to this kind of mind-bending idea about time itself.
Ah, the paradox.
Yeah. We usually think of time as this straight line, right? Past, present, future. Something we manage or run out of.
The clock ticking.
But that Buddhist idea, Annika, again, suggests that maybe time, as we usually experience it, is more of a mental construct. An illusion, even.
It definitely challenges how we see things. Our whole lives are built around schedules, deadlines. The clock rules everything.
Right. But this perspective says the only real reality is the present moment, which is always changing, and trying to hold on to it or control what's next is, well, maybe impossible, futile.
And the real irony is, the harder we try to control time dwelling on the past, forcing the future, the more trapped we become by it.
How so?
We get tangled up in anxiety, regret, endless planning, and we miss out on the richness, the freedom that's available just by being here now. It's like that famous quote, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment.
So letting go of trying to control time isn't about giving up, it's about freedom.
Exactly, it's liberation. It allows you to actually engage with life as it unfolds. Instead of fighting the constant change, you learn to flow with it, adapt, find peace right in the middle of it.
It's a huge shift.
It is. So maybe ask yourself, are you constantly fighting against time, feeling rushed, pressured, or could you be open to just surrendering to its rhythm a bit more, finding the space that's already here?
Because maybe time doesn't have to be the enemy, maybe it can be an ally.
That's a fascinating way to put it. It seems counterintuitive, but yeah, maybe aligning with the present moment is the key.
Think about an archer, like in Zen archery.
More than just hitting a target.
Right, it's a mindfulness practice. The archer isn't thinking about the last shot or worrying about the next one. Their whole focus is now. The stance, the breath, drawing the bow, the release.
Complete immersion in the present action.
And success isn't really about controlling the outcome. It's about being totally in the process.
And that state, that total focus and immersion in the now, that's what people often call flow, isn't it?
Yeah. That feeling when time just disappears and you're completely absorbed, performing at your best, almost without trying.
Yeah.
And it feels amazing.
Deep satisfaction, fulfillment in the doing itself.
And the cool thing about flow is, it's not just for like athletes or musicians.
No, absolutely not. Anyone can access it. It comes down to that willingness to bring your full awareness right here to whatever you're doing.
And people who experience flow regularly tend to be happier, more creative.
Yes, research suggests higher happiness, creativity, sense of purpose. It's like by letting go of the obsession with the result and just focusing on the present process, you paradoxically often achieve more and feel better doing it.
Okay, so how do we cultivate that? How do we get better at finding that flow?
Well, one core practice is developing one-pointed attention.
Sounds serious.
It's from meditation, basically focusing on one thing, like your breath. But you can apply it anywhere. When you eat, just eat. Taste the food. When you walk, just walk. Feel your feet, see what's around you.
Single tasking, essentially.
Yes. Consciously minimize distractions. Immerse yourself in the task at hand, training the mind to stay put, not wander off so much.
What about when things get tough? Obstacles pop up.
That's where reframing comes in. Instead of seeing a challenge as just a horrible roadblock.
Which is easy to do.
Very easy. Ask yourself, okay, what can I learn here? Or how can I approach this with curiosity instead of just fear? It shifts your perspective, makes you more resilient, more adaptable.
Turns obstacles into opportunities for growth.
Potentially, yes. And another really simple but powerful practice, gratitude.
Ah, yes. Counting your blessings.
Kind of, but actively. Make a conscious effort each day to notice things you're thankful for, even small things. Sun shining, a good cup of coffee, a kind word.
Shifts your focus from lack to abundance.
Exactly. It helps you appreciate what you do have right now. Strengthens your connection to the richness of the present moment.
And when we start living more like this, more present, it doesn't just affect us, does it? It ripples outwards.
Oh, absolutely. Think about your relationships. When you're truly present with someone really listening, not checking your phone, giving them your full attention,
They feel it.
they feel seen, heard, valued. It communicates care, respect, empathy on a deep level. It strengthens connection like almost nothing else.
And just seeing someone live that way, mindfully, with purpose, it can be inspiring, can't it?
Definitely. It shows others what's possible, that you can live with more intention, more joy, even when things aren't perfect. Leading by example.
And maybe, just maybe, if enough of us start doing this, it contributes to something bigger.
You could say that. Each mindful action, each moment of presence, maybe it adds to a kind of collective shift towards a society that values compassion, connection, maybe sustainability a bit more.
So working on ourselves actually helps the world.
In a very real way, yes.
Yeah.
Our personal transformation and the wider good are interconnected.
So as we wrap up here, the big takeaway seems to be that every single moment is a new beginning.
Yes. Absolutely essential to remember that. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what you're worried about for tomorrow, this moment is fresh, a clean slate, an opportunity to choose again.
It reminds me of that Buddha quote.
Yeah.
Something about health for mind and body.
Ah, yes. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, not to worry about the future, but to live the present moment wisely and earnestly.
Wisely and earnestly. It takes courage, though, right? To step into the present, especially when it's uncertain.
It does take courage, but there's also a deep trust you can find in the process. Trusting that if you stay grounded now, the path forward will reveal itself step by step. So maybe just take a gentle breath right now. Let yourself really land in this moment. And remember, you have incredible potential inside you. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. And right here, right now, you are actually whole, complete.
So as you go about the rest of your day, maybe just notice those moments, those little waves dissolving, maybe with a bit more awareness. What could happen if you really let yourself embrace each new beginning the present keeps offering? Like a seed, always ready to sprout. Maybe there's a whole world waiting and just being fully here.
Yeah. So perhaps take a little time later to just reflect. How is your relationship with time, with the present? Is there one small thing, one tiny shift towards presence you could try today?
Because this whole exploration, it's not a one-time thing, is it? It's a journey.
It's ongoing, a continuous deepening into what it means to be alive. There are always more layers, more nuances to discover, and with each mindful step, you might just find a richness, a meaning in your life you hadn't even imagined yet.